Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you could indulge me, I'd like a couple extra minutes too. It's okay.
Certainly.
Counselor, did you really say that Justice Kavanaugh was a morally bankrupt person?
Senator, as I explained, I did not write that letter. I did sign it.
Did you read it?
I read it quickly, yes.
And you
sir.
signed it?
Yes, sir.
Did you really say that Justice Kavanaugh, if he was confirmed, would cause people to die?
As I stated, Senator, I understood those statements were overheated rhetoric, but I understood them to be just
Yeah,
that,
but you said
rhetorical.
You said it, right?
I did sign the letter, yes, Senator.
Okay. Do you believe that Brett Kavanaugh is a morally bankrupt person?
Senator, sitting here as a judicial nominee, it is not appropriate for me to comment
Do you believe
personally
that,
on
well, you
any
said
justice.
it. You said it. Do you believe that he's a morally bankrupt person?
Senator, it is not appropriate for me
Why
to
not?
comment.
You said it.
I understand.
Senator, I am giving you extra time, but can she be allowed to answer?
Sure. I just want an answer. I agree that she should answer. You're not going to answer my question?
I believe I've answered it to the best of my ability. Honestly, Senator, I respect completely the confirmation process and the authority of Justice Kavanaugh and every Supreme Court justice.
But do you, this is real simple. You said just a few years ago, you weren't in law school, you weren't in college. You said Brett Kavanaugh is a morally bankrupt person. It's clear as thunder on a summer night. Now, you're under oath. Do you believe he is or not? How hard is that? You'll have much harder questions as a federal judge if you can make it that far.
I appreciate the question, Senator. As I stated, those statements were rhetorical advocacy that I signed as an alum addressing my law school alma mater. I did not.
Well, let me ask you about this rhetorical advocacy. Does rhetorical advocacy mean you said something, but now that you've been nominated, you're scared that you can't get the votes, so you're going to try not to answer the question? Is that what rhetorical advocacy means? What is rhetorical advocacy? Is it a lie?
No, it's not a lie, Senator. I would say that it's statements that are made in service of an advocacy position.
Okay. And if you issue an opinion and you get reversed by the Supreme Court, are you just going to say, oh, don't worry about it, justices, that was just rhetorical advocacy? What is this?
Absolutely not, Senator. If the court issues an opinion as a lower court judge, I would be absolutely bound to follow it. It is not merely rhetorical advocacy. It is the law of the land.
Okay, let me try one more time. Do you believe that Brett Kavanaugh is a morally bankrupt person?
Senator, as
Sitting here today, under oath.
Sitting here today, under oath, I can assure you that I respect completely the authority of Justice Kavanaugh as a duly confirmed Supreme Court Justice of the United States.
Yes, ma'am, but do you believe he's morally bankrupt?
Senator, as I stated, I respect his authority and the authority of every Supreme Court justice sitting on our court.
Yes, ma'am, but do you believe he's morally bankrupt?
My personal opinion is not appropriate for me to say. I respect his authority as a Supreme Court justice.
So you think he is morally bankrupt?
I did not say that, Senator.
But you signed a letter saying he was morally bankrupt.
Several years ago, as an alum addressing my law school alma mater, I did sign a letter that I believed was addressed only to my law school administration.
Oh, you didn't think it would be public?
I did not understand that it would be used as a public advocacy piece. No,
Okay.
I believed it was only addressed to my law school administration.
And you signed that because you wanted to show fidelity to your alma mater, Yale Law School?
I signed it, Senator, at the time because I felt that it was an appropriate statement to make to my law school administration, notwithstanding the overheated rhetoric. But sitting here today as a judicial nominee, what I want to assure you is that as an advocate, as a litigator, as a neutral adjudicator, And as a judge, if confirmed, I would absolutely respect the authority of every Supreme Court justice and all of its precedents without reservation.
See, I don't believe you. I think you allowed your political beliefs to cloud your judgment. And I think you said a few years ago what you said about Brett Kavanaugh, and I think you believe it. And I can't imagine what it's going to be like to be a litigant in front of you with that demonstration of lack of judicial temperament and judgment. How can a litigant possibly think that you're not going to act on personal beliefs if you were so intemperate to say something like this? Last question. Are you proud of the fact that Yale Law School has a quota system limiting the number of Asian Americans? Have you ever written a letter about that? Or does that not, where does that fit in your socioeconomic view of the world that you think everybody else should adopt and you will impose if you're in a position of power?
Senator, I'm not aware of any policy like that, but what I can assure you is that I have a track record.
You need to get out more.
I have a track record as a neutral adjudicator. I have decided cases for nearly 5 years impartially by applying the law as set forth in our statutes, our Constitution, and our precedents. And I have applied that law impartially. I have ruled.
You're the only person in the Milky Way who believes you're impartial.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm done, Mr. Chairman.
Well, yes, you are.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here today. Professor Goodwin, help me understand your point of view. I think this is a yes or no question. Do you support it being legal to abort an unborn child up to the moment of birth?
Senator Kennedy, it is not a yes or no question. I support women like Ms. Zarowski. Women across this...
No, ma'am, I don't... I think it is a yes or no question.
No, well, let me answer.
If there were a law that's... I'm just trying to understand your perspective, and I'm not accusing you of this.
Of course not.
But you know, people sort of talk around this issue. If there were a bill that said that a woman has an unfettered right to abort an unborn baby for any reason up to the moment of birth, would you vote yes or would you vote no?
Senator Kennedy, I refuse to be shackled by your question. What I have answered is that there are conditions that occur during pregnancy.
You don't know whether you would vote yes or no?
There are conditions during pregnancy that mean after 10 weeks,
no,
14 weeks,
I said
20 weeks,
discretion.
24 weeks,
you
conditions
would
such as
support,
Ms. Zarowski.
You're here advocating.
I would support her life.
I
would support her personhood.
But you're advocating a law.
I support her personhood.
You're advocating a law that says that an unborn baby can be aborted up to the moment of birth for any reason, are you not?
Let me clarify what the 14th Amendment says in the first sentence, that citizens of this United States are individuals that are born. That is what our Constitution says.
But
do you support our
Constitution? My question, Professor? I'm not trying to argue. I just want to understand what your position is, and I think you're afraid to say that you do support that. If you do support it, I think you, just for the purpose of an intellectual discussion, you ought to just say so.
For purposes of an intellectual discussion, I'm happy to have that with you. But
Well,
that's
then
not the tone.
Could you answer my question? Do you support, please? I mean, you teach. Okay, I'm sure you've had students ask this question. Do you support making it legal to abort an unborn baby for any reason, up to the moment before birth?
Senator, let's have that intellectual discussion that you want.
We could start if you'd answer my question. I can't go to my next question until you answer that question.
I want you to be able to go to your second and your third questions. I do. But as I have explained, there are many different conditions.
No, I said unfettered discretion. No conditions. I'm making it easy for you.
Well, I've already shared with you, Senator, that I support women's.
I don't want to use all my time. You're not going to answer it, and that is your right. But I would respect you more if you just say, "Here's my answer."
I'm sorry that you don't respect me very much.
I do respect you, but I said I'd respect you more if you just answer my question. Doctor, tell me how to say your last name. Ms. Dr. Rubenhorst. Do you support a law that would allow
vấn vương làm gì, ai thật lòng yêu ai đến bây giờ mình đã biết. Chuyện tình đôi ta anh hãy xem là huyền thoại. Anh đừng giận em, kia dĩ vãng mùa thương vẫn đẹp như giấc mơ. Trên trời bao ánh sao tình ta bấy nhiêu kỷ niệm. Nào ngờ hôm nay định mệnh chia sẻ đôi ta, em biết làm sao hơn. Mùi tóc lan môi và thư tình em xin gửi lại anh. Với tất cả cuộc vui em cũng xin trả lại anh. Dù mãi em theo chồng, đời đời em vẫn nhớ mãi mối tình đầu tiên. Thôi anh hãy đi về, khóc chỉ làm buồn thêm. Trời đã khuya từ lâu, càng vắng đêm tà tư. Mai này thuyền hoa vui đón em về cùng bên khác. Đường tình đôi ta hai hướng đi buồn thật buồn. Anh hiểu dùm em, nào ước muốn giàu sang bởi tình duyên trái ngang. Em vì chữ hiếu nên đành câm nín cho đẹp lòng. Chuyện tình đôi ta nghẹn ngào trong đắng muôn cay, thôi vĩnh biệt thiên thu. Đời đời em vẫn nhớ mãi mối tình đầu tiên. Thôi anh hãy đi về, khóc chỉ làm buồn thêm. Trời đã khuya từ lâu, càng vắng đêm tà tư. Mai này thuyền hoa vui đón em về cùng bên khác. Đường tình đôi ta hai hướng đi buồn thật buồn. Anh hiểu dùm em, nghẹn ngào trong đắng muôn cay, thôi vĩnh biệt thiên thu. Chuyện tình đôi ta nghẹn ngào trong đắng